Hi there everybody, it's Rob here from Glas Data again, and I'm just going to follow on from where I left off in the previous video where we'd tweaked our CO2 alerts that we created originally, and we'd set set it to not send us an alert every time it recorded a value greater than or equal to 2,000 parts per million. And we also said don't send us an alert until the value had been at 2,000 or greater for at least 2 hours. Now in this video I'm going to talk to you about two other concepts, and this is the idea of severity and time windows. So we're going to start with severity. Now you'll notice that when you create an action, so if we click on this red email action, you have this action severity drop down. Now by default it's on set to alert, but we also have info and warning. So these are the sort of different severities of alert, and the email that you receive will look slightly different and will say whether it's an alert, whether it's a warning, or whether it's just informational. So let's say that in this scenario, if the CO2 value is 2,000 parts per million or greater for 2 hours, that's really catastrophic, that's terrible, we want to know about that, and that therefore this alert level is appropriate. But let's say that we also want to know when the CO2 value goes above 2,000 straight away, but it's not the end of the world, perhaps it's just a warning. It's saying, look, the value's gone above 2,000, it might be a problem, but we don't know yet, so just keep your eyes peeled. And then if it stays above 2,000 for 2 hours, we'll then get this alert email to say, yep, this has been up for 2 hours and this is quite bad. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create another condition, okay? Because this condition is currently set to be only log if it's been above 2,000 for 2 hours. So we're going to have another one, and we're going to say the same value, 2,000 parts per million, and we'll create that one. And then we're going to link it up again. So we're just going to drag another arrow from the source back into that condition. And then we're going to also turn off constant alerts there. So we'll just hit save there. And we're leaving the duration blank. Now what this means is that as soon as the CO2 sensor registers 2,000 parts per million or more, this is going to hit, this is going to qualify, and it's going to trigger any actions which are attached to it. So we're going to add another email action here. Just going to do that, and we'll put the same email address .com, and we're going to create that, and then we're going to link it up to that new condition that we created. And obviously you have to verify it, but I won't do that in this video. And then I'm going to change the severity from alert to warning, and I'm just going to save that. And that's all there is to it. So now what's going to happen is that as soon as the value goes at 2,000 parts per million or greater, we're going to get an email, just a single email, because we unchecked in the condition here, we unchecked constant alerts. So we're just going to get a single email that says, warning, the CO2 sensor has registered 2,000 parts per million or more. And then if it stays up for 2 hours, we're then going to get our following email that says, okay, this is an actual alert now. The value has been 2,000 parts per million or greater for at least 2 hours. So there it is. Now the final concept I'm going to talk to you about today is this idea of time windows. Now it could be that, for example, you want to receive, during the daytime, you want to receive text messages when the value goes to 2,000 parts per million or greater. But at night time, maybe you don't want to have a text message, so you say, look, send me an email and I'll deal with it in the morning. Perhaps it's not so severe that you want to be woken up at night. Now, you can add multiple actions to the same condition. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to drag on a text message action. So send a text message. We're going to add it there. There we go. And we're going to create that. Obviously, that's not my phone number, but for obvious reasons. So we're going to create that, and then we're going to drag that on here. And then, of course, we go through the verification process. And we're also going to set this to be a warning level as well, because this is the warning condition. Okay, now what's going to happen currently is that whenever the value is greater than or equal to 2,000, we're going to get both an email and a text message. Now this is where time windows come in. So we'll start with the email, and we're going to say, okay, create a time window. You'll notice there's a time window section here, and if you hit the little help button, you'll see the time window allows you to specify a period during each day in which this action will be executed. If it's not set, then the action will always be executed. So we only want to receive an email perhaps after 10 o'clock at night and before 6 o'clock in the morning. So we'll say create time window, and we'll say 10 p.m. is the start time, and 6 a.m. 6 a.m. is the end time. And what we'll do is we'll just hit save. Now what that means is that we're now only going to receive emails between those hours, between 10 in the evening and 6 in the morning. And then with the text message, what we're going to say is we're going to create another time window, and we're going to say, okay, from 6 a.m. all the way through until 10 p.m. I'm happy to receive text messages, and we'll hit save there. And there you go. So that means that when the CO2 sensor registers 2,000 parts per million, if it's during the day, we're going to get a text message, and if it's during the night, we're going to get an email, and you can sleep soundly. I hope that was useful, and do check out more videos for other things that you can do with our alert system.